Hey guys, it's Jess and welcome back to my channel. This week we're going to explain another step in the Skincare Explained series, and that is going to be Essence. So a little bit of background on me and Essence. I've been into K-beauty or Korean beauty or Asian beauty period for the last 5 years, and I've had the hardest time finding an essence, one that works well with my skin. My skin is oily and dehydrated, and also an essence that I genuinely feel makes a difference in my skin. So I kind of got to a point in my skincare routine where I couldn't find an essence that worked for me, so I just cut it out completely. And from my knowledge, essence is a really important step in Korean beauty, and it's something essential. You know, usually they tell you to have a face wash and a moisturizer and sunscreen, but one of the really essential things in Korean beauty is to have an essence. When Jolse reached out saying that they were looking for reviewers for one of their products, I signed up and I was selected as one of the reviewers, and I have to say I am very shocked by the results. I'm going to explain first what an essence is and what it does, and then I'll get into my specific review with this particular one. So an essence is usually applied after toner but before a serum or any of those heavier skincare steps, because it's typically a more watery texture or a lighter texture than the other products. Essences all serve a very specific purpose depending on the type of essence you get. So it's hard to say overall what it does, but it does give your skin a nice little boost of whatever the primary ingredient is in that particular essence, and it is meant to complement the following steps. So I'm gonna get right into my experience with this particular one, and maybe that'll help you understand a little bit more on why essences are so important. So once again, my skin is oily dehydrated, and basically that means my skin is very dry, or it's dehydrated to the point where it's causing my body to produce excess oils in my face. I tend to look really oily, but it is because I am dry. I'm not actually oily. So I'm gonna read you the claims directly from Jolse for exactly what this particular essence is supposed to do. So the essence that they sent me was the Giibon Skincare Essence. I hope I pronounced that right. The claims are: it promises to strengthen skin barrier, remove dead skin cells and sebum, and control moisture. So obviously removing dead skin cells is kind of an exfoliation step, which I was kind of weary about because essences usually add things, they don't really take them away. So my skin does produce excess sebum. Even though I'm in my later 20s, I still deal with acne pretty regularly. I don't break out a lot all over my face anymore since I've been using a K-beauty routine for the last 5 years, but I definitely still get pimples, and definitely during that time of the month. So I was very interested in finding something that did have sebum control, because I still need to control the acne that I do have. So one of the primary ingredients of this essence is hyaluronic acid, which is used to hydrate and plump up the skin. So although the name does have acid in it, hyaluronic acid is not considered an active, which is something I'll explain in the later steps, and it doesn't burn or anything when you put it on your skin as long as you're not allergic to it. So hyaluronic acid loves moisture, so it's really best to use this right after you've applied toner, and I mean like immediately after, because it likes to bind to water. So hyaluronic acid has had some time in the spotlight. Basically, it is really good for hydrating the skin deep within, but hyaluronic acid is really not meant for everyone. I know it sounds like a really promising ingredient, but I'll explain really quickly why or why not you might not want to use hyaluronic acid in your skincare routine. So hyaluronic acid basically wants to draw water to itself. So if you live in a drier climate where there's not a lot of moisture in the air, basically hyaluronic acid typically draws moisture from the air. But if there's not a lot of moisture in the air, it's going to go directly into your skin to pull it out, and can actually make your skin drier. A lot of people who live in drier climates tend to say that this dries them out more, but that's basically why. So I'm not saying if you live in a drier climate, do not use hyaluronic acid, but I think if you're going to focus on that particular skincare ingredient, I think that you need to make sure that you have a full routine. It's not something that you're just gonna slap on your face and walk out the door. You definitely need to follow up with a more moisturizing product on top, or make sure you have a moisturizer and a sunscreen, you know, all those things on top. You know, if you do live in a drier climate. I live in a more humid climate. I don't have any issues when I put it on my skin. It doesn't dry it out at all. So I don't have any issues with it in that regard. Whew, science. So I've been using this particular essence for over a week, and so far so good. So the Giibon Skincare Essence comes in a 120 milliliter bottle. It has a nice size opening where you can get a lot of product, but it doesn't kind of go everywhere. This essence is a little thicker than the essences I've tried in the past, but this one absorbs the best. Now, I've only been using this for about a week and a half, and you typically do want to introduce new skincare ingredients or skincare products period on a 2-week basis just to make sure your skin doesn't react, because like I said before, your skin can react at any time and have any sort of reaction, and you won't know what that is if you put too many products on your face at once. But my skin's very reactive to things. If this wasn't gonna work for me, I honestly would have known within the first day or two, because my skin will break out very easily if it doesn't like something. So what I love about the Giibon Essence is that I can actually layer it. Even though it's thicker, I can layer it just like I would a toner. And my favorite thing to do is I sheet mask twice a day. Yes, twice a day. I love putting this underneath a nice watery textured sheet mask, and it absorbs so nicely into my skin. It feels amazing. My skin is super hydrated, super plump, and it's crazy because I've never heard of this brand before. I probably would have never picked this up had I just been perusing Jolse on my own. And I am so glad that I took that leap, because this stuff has been amazing. I use actives pretty regularly, and if you use a lot of actives, or if you use actives fairly regularly, that they can dry out your skin and you can compromise your skin's moisture barrier. And that's one thing I was really concerned about, because I use pretty strong actives. I use either high percentages or I use a mixture. Not literally mixed together, but I feel like this has made my skin super bright, super even, super plump. And I don't know if you can tell, I'll probably put a little clip of some other videos where you can see my skin. But I feel like this made a huge difference in just the glow and just the overall texture and feel of my skin. So now I want to go back to the claims that Jolse made about this essence and see if they checked off for me. So as far as repairing your skin's barrier, I 100% believe that it is on its way to being healed. The amount of oil on my face is reduced so much, it's insane. If I put anything on my skin to try to mattify it, or any of the mattifying products that I used before, it'll actually make my skin oilier than just using this essence by itself. As far as dead skin removal and sebum control, I am sold on that. I am completely sold on that. For whatever reason, for a long time, my skin had this kind of micro bumpy texture to it. It wasn't a breakout or anything like that, just all over. You can just look. Like if my skin was really oily, you could very much tell that I was having some texture issues. And I know that's because my moisture barrier was compromised, but I genuinely couldn't find anything that would help plump my skin or hydrate it from within. So I just kind of live with it, and I try to cover it up by making sure my skin was always matte and never super oily. But at the end of the day, I knew that I was having issues with the texture of my skin. Now, just to make sure that all the claims that they were making were going to be true, I didn't use any of the regular actives that I normally use in that week. I wanted to know that if it was removing dead skin cells and actually had a good amount of sebum control, that it wasn't because I was using my AHAs and my BHAs. So I stopped using those completely, and my skin feels amazing. Definitely helped, like I said, the texture of my skin, so I know it was taking off dead skin right there. And I think it definitely controlled the sebum underneath, because after my skin felt super exfoliated, I didn't really see a recurrence in the texture issues or anything. Even my acne was just a lot better. Typically exfoliate maybe 2 to 3 times a week, and I rotate between chemical and physical exfoliants. So I knew that if I used this and I started to see my skin get congested again, that it wasn't working, and I had 0 issues on that end. Exfoliating is super important because it allows everything after that step to really sink in and get right underneath. If your skin is really full of dead skin, sometimes the stuff will just sit on top. So that's why people usually recommend exfoliating once, if your skin can handle it, twice a week. And this kind of did it for me. And I love that it was super hydrating and also exfoliated in the same step. It saved me time, it saved me product, and it saved my face, y'all. So overall, my face feels hydrated, cleaner, and brighter. Now, this product also claims to help with wrinkles, but I don't have any wrinkles. I don't even have premature wrinkles. Thank God for jeans and K-beauty. But that's something I would believe would be a lot more long-term effect. I don't think I would see a huge difference in that in a week anyways. Now, if you know anything about dry skin definitely accelerates the production of wrinkles in your skin, and that's why people always stress keeping your skin nice and hydrated. If it's hydrating anyone else's skin in the same way that it's hydrating mine, I am sure that it's gonna do something for wrinkles because my skin is so plump, y'all. So overall, I really like this essence. I am definitely going to repurchase it after I run out until I find something better, which honestly, I don't know if I will at this point, but I'm very surprised. I went into this not expecting much because like I said, I have a really hard time finding a really good essence, and this knocked it out of the park for me. So should we give this one a rating? Let's give it 5 out of 5 Jesses, y'all. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Skincare Explained. If you want to purchase this product from Jolse, I'm going to leave the link below. Just as a disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video. I'm not being paid to say any of this stuff. I wish I was. I don't have enough subscribers for anyone to pay me for this. We're gonna get there, y'all. We're gonna get there soon. Jolse is a K-beauty online retailer based in Korea, and they have free shipping, y'all. That's why I've been using Jolse for like the last 5 years. I'm super excited to review this product for them because they have great customer service. They give you samples too, like what's up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, you know what to do. Give that like button a tap on the tush, and if you have not done so already, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys somewhere out there in the world or in my next video.
It's time to jump up in the air. Jump up,